overview of what this project is and what we had in mind when we developed this. So with most electronic keyboards, actually I think everything except one model that came out but didn't come out into production, is that you have on electronic keyboards, if you want to do some kind of modulation, like a pitch bend or something, you have a separate knob on the side, which is not so great because then one of your hands is not being used for playing and you have to take it off and do the pitch bend and all of that. So what if you could control all of that modulation, all those effects and everything individually on your with your fingers, as well as play at the same time? This keyboard is something that we thought addresses that. And also, it brings it closer to string instruments like guitars and violins to some extent. Because with this, we've developed it with the point of being able to like slide in and out of pitches rather than playing notes as discrete events. So what we have on the glide is linear position sensors on each one of the keys, and also force sensing sensors on each one of the keys. So it's pretty cool because we not just sense velocity and aftertouch, but also the exact how much you're pushing down the keys and the position of your fingers on each one of the keys. By the way, I totally forgot to introduce our group. Dan, Jakes, and Kapil, and this is the glide. So Dan is going to demonstrate some of what this keyboard can do.
All right. So yeah, so you can see there's position sensors. It knows where on the key you're pressing. So it's the GUI. Yeah. So here's our little GUI representation of what's going on. So like when I put, so right now we're not doing any bending, but Jakes can show you sort of what happens with pitch bend. It's really cool. But here it's literally just what's going to happen based on where you attack the note. So this is running through a string model, and right now the you can see it'll register. It sort of the note gets bigger when I'm pressing it down, and where I'm pressing on the key is basically kind of like in a guitar, how close to the bridge you get. So if you get really close to the bridge, it gets all nice and twangy and so. Right, so you can so already just by picking up the place that you're getting the note. The more advanced model we're going to ship has that click built in. So you can see like already just where you attack the note is an incredibly important part of, or how like the attack of the note comes out can be extremely expressive, and this now allows you to do it on a note by note basis. Jakes is going to show a little bit about some pitch bend.
Yeah. As my colleagues have said already about I would just touch on the applications of this. This would be a very ideal instrument probably for the string instrument players, where they can have the advantage of gliding, and also in certain idioms of classical music, especially in the Indian classical music, when transition between notes are always a glide, it slides through a note. So I'm going to just show you a very, very small piece where you can just slide through, and you can have that feeling of actually playing. That's what most of the Indian instrumentalists are not able to correctly represent the classical music in a discrete, like the just tempered piano that we have. So. now Dan will demonstrate an organ to you, which would be, you know.
So yeah, so the you know, there's many different things you could do. We also thought maybe we would try to do an organ. So here.
Just 1 second, and this organ is based on FM synthesis.
It's actually additive synthesis. So basically, kind of like when you pull the drawbars out. I don't know if there's a something somewhere. Sorry. No. So it's so it's like when you pull the drawbars out of the organ. Again, you gotta use your hands, right? It'd be nice if you could do it right here on the keyboard. Don't have to move anything. You're still in the middle of playing. Well, so on the organ, for example, I guess we didn't show that very well. You can, it's actually right now just volume. So instead of just being discretely like you're either on or off, you know, it's, well, it's not very dramatic right now, but.
Oh, so that's the size of the slider is from the pressure.
The size of the slider is the pressure. Okay. It's actually a key location. Well, there's a pressure sensor, and ultimately it's actually a little bit nonlinear, but it's a sense of like how far the key is depressed. Okay. You could also do some interesting things with that, like you know, once you play the note, like the way you know the gesture at which you release the note could be is not sort of available to you.
We did this cool thing yesterday, but I don't think we have it on this. So we were trying to get like a really expressive vibrato, and so we had like the depth of the vibrato mapped onto how hard you were pressing the key, and the speed at which it was happening depending on how far you move up on each key.
It's doing that. So it's like speeds up. So it's kind of like two things happening on the same axis right now.
So when he's going up, it's both speeding up and he's bringing up the overtones of each note. So sounds pretty cool.
Yes.
It's interesting because piano, the keyboard instrument, is not only about the structure itself, but about the hands which controls it. So when you're using stringed instruments with the keyboard interface, you're actually imposing some ergonomic restriction of the keyboard instrument and some patterns or like embedded like a performance practice into it. So for example, when you have so many like sensors in each key, well, like one thing I may want to do is like to have different modulation leg for each of the key, but like apparently my hands is not capable of doing like a different modulation leg here and there. And what do you think about like those limitations and like possibilities based on the ergonomics of our hands?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we didn't sort of get a chance to do more due to time than anything else is sort of redesign the actual keys themselves to be more ergonomic for this particular type of playing. I mean, right now, the keyboard itself wasn't designed for that, and the layout and the size of the keys and everything wasn't really designed for that. We might, you know, I think like for one example, is, you know, there's right now black keys are considerably shorter than white keys, and so they're, you know, the depth of expression is obviously going to be different on that. Ideally, that wouldn't happen. There'd be something we'd have the same length, maybe a little wider, and yeah, I mean, we would need to put some thought into, you know, ways that, yeah, exactly, like where, you know, what's natural for your hands, you know. So I think it's a great idea.
It's another version of the same question. How hard was it to play it first, and how have you noticed yourself getting better at it as you learn?
Well, I mean, so one of the reasons I wanted to go with a traditional keyboard design is that anyone who plays the piano could sort of just bring that automatic knowledge of this is an E. I know what an E does, and just immediately be able to play it. And so, yeah, from a note perspective, obviously it was nice and easy. It did take some getting used to. One of the things is that we actually are using we're using our pressure sensors to also kind of sense velocity. We're basically just timing it, and it's now like less sensitive to velocity in a way, and that really sort of threw my head into a loop. It's now like you can play the key much slower. I don't know. There's like a different. So even just things like that are a lot different. It just takes some getting used to. Some things are easy, like sliding up and down a key. It's a lot harder to like pinpoint exactly where on the key you want to hit it, because you have an idea of where